Un saludo a toda la afición de la lucha libre. Mi nombre es Isaac Cortés, integrante del equipo de Wrestling Sport. Y el día de hoy tengo el enorme privilegio de poder contar con un invitado especial. Él es Mike Bennett y está aquí para poder hablarnos de su carrera profesional en la industria de la lucha libre, también su recorrido por diferentes empresas como TNA o Impact Wrestling, WWE, ahora en Ring of Honor, y también de cara a lo que será Best in the World 2021. Así que Mike, thanks for coming. How are you today, man?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me. As I was telling you earlier, I'm currently in my daughter's room. So if you see things like this pop up, it's just because this is the quietest room in the house.
I start this interview by asking you your new chapter in your life. No like wrestler, no like a champion, but like a father of two beautiful children. How does it feel to be the father of two beautiful children?
It's the best. I tell people all the time, it's my greatest accomplishment. I would gladly, if it called for it, I would give up wrestling in a heartbeat for those two kids. It's just being a dad. You can't explain it. Everyone always tries to tell you about it. They try to prepare you for it. They tell you it's going to change your life, and you just go, sure, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then it happens and you go, holy crap, everyone was right. It's the best thing that ever happened to me. I have a 3-year-old daughter who I am madly in love with. And I have a son who's a year and a half, and he's just, he's a big brute, and he cracks me up every single day.
If one of your son want to be a wrestler, you support him.
Yes, 100%. I wouldn't be a wrestler if my mom and dad didn't support me. So I will tell my kids exactly what my parents told me. As long as you are not breaking the law and you are happy, then I will always support them in everything they do.
So, how did your passion for the wrestling business, for the wrestling world begin? What match, what rivalry, or what moment caught your attention to start in this business?
So it actually started, I was a huge fan when I was a kid. But then I didn't go to my first live event until I was either 12 or 13 years old. And the first wrestling live event I went to was a Monday Night Raw TV taping at the Worcester Centrum Center. And it was the night that Mick Foley won the world title for the very first time against The Rock. And I was in the crowd for that. I still get goosebumps thinking about it now. I've been privileged and blessed that I've actually had the chance to talk to Mick and tell him that he influenced my career. But I knew that moment when that crowd reacted, that feeling, that emotion, seeing people literally jump out of their seats in excitement. I was hooked. And on the drive home, I remember I said to my dad, I was like, I'm going to be a pro wrestler. And he kind of, he blew it. Sure. Whatever, Mike. Sure you are. But from that point on, I never looked back. And then 3 years later at 15, I found a school and I became a pro wrestler. But it was that moment, that match, Mick Foley versus The Rock.
Wow. Now in Spanish. Eso llama mucho la atención porque menciona que su inspiración nace de la lucha entre Mick Foley y The Rock, esa lucha donde él mira que el público está conectado. Eso fue lo que le llamó inicialmente la atención. Es muy interesante desde ese momento donde Mick Foley y The Rock tienen su lucha. Many people mention their beginnings in this business. Some say it's something extremely hard. But for you, how were this beginning in this business?
I look back at the start of my career very fondly. It's hard. It's difficult. It hurts. It takes a lot of sacrifice. But if you enjoy it, if it's what you want to do, then you don't, it's not, I mean, it's still hard, but you're still doing what you love. For me, I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the bumps. I fell in love with the bruises. I always felt like after every match, I felt like I had accomplished something. So yes, is it difficult? 100%, but it is way less difficult if it's something you truly love. And I truly loved it.
In my opinion, your talent, your performance, and your fitness have taken you to the best wrestling companies around the world. What do you think is the key to your success in your career?
Consistency. I think consistency has been the biggest part of my success. Because I'm not going to go out there and tell everyone I'm the best wrestler in the world, because nobody would believe that. I'm not going to go out there and tell everyone I'm the best promo in the world because nobody would believe that. I'm not going to tell you I'm the biggest or the fastest or the strongest because no one would believe that. But at the end of the day, for the last 20 years, I have been one of the most consistent professional wrestlers in the entire world. I've done it in Ring of Honor. I've done it in New Japan. I've done it in Impact, and I've done it in WWE. I consistently stay at a level that I need to be at the top, whatever, 5-10% in this industry. And so if anyone ever asked me what the key to success would be, I would say consistent. You have to be good on a consistent basis, night in and night out.
New Japan, Pro Wrestling, TNA or Impact Wrestling, WWE, NWA in 2020, Ring of Honor now. These are some of the companies you have success in. But not counting Ring of Honor, which company do you think have you that push your name needed and why?
I mean, so it was Ring of Honor was the place that found me, that discovered me, that gave me that first taste of national exposure. But the first company that gave me the opportunity as a single star was Impact. And that's something that I'll never forget. When I went over there, it was a very difficult decision to leave Ring of Honor at the time because me and Matt Taven as the Kingdom, we were in a good spot. We were riding high. We had just been tag champs. We were doing New Japan stuff. We were in a good spot. But I kind of wanted to focus on my singles run. And I felt like at that moment, Ring of Honor didn't view me in that light. So I wanted to go be a singles guy. And Impact, Billy Corgan, David Lagana, John Gabor, Dixie Carter, they gave me that opportunity. They threw me right into the fire. And they gave me those matches and those promos against EC3, which is what I think took me from just being a tag team guy to someone that people considered a legit threat in this industry.
It's interesting. In my opinion, I think that what set you apart from other and that working alongside your wife in this very ring. And so what is your experience working alongside your wife, Maria?
Well, I mean, from a personal perspective, it's awesome. You get to work with your wife. You never miss. I mean, so many guys are on the road and they miss their wives. I never get that because I get to travel with her and be around her. Clearly, I miss my kids, but it's from a personal perspective, it's awesome. From a professional's perspective, it's even better because Maria, and this is going to sound a little biased because she's my wife, but she has one of the smartest minds for professional wrestling I've ever been around. She just gets wrestling. She'll tell you straight up. She'll tell you, I'll tell you, she'll say, I'm not a good wrestler. She doesn't wrestle. She never considered herself a good wrestler. She never threw herself into the actual wrestling aspect of professional wrestling. But her mind, being around the likes of Paul Heyman and CM Punk and The Rock and Stone Cold and Triple H and Shawn Michaels and Taker, and being in that group at that time, she's brilliant. She's given me some of my best ideas. She helps me put matches together. She'll straight up tell me when I do something in a match, I'll come to the back. She'll go, that sucked. Don't ever do it again. She's my harshest critic. She's my biggest supporter. I love being by her side every single day.
In Spanish. En pocas palabras, él dice que María es como su soporte. Ama trabajar con ella, ama trabajar junto a ella y eso es algo que lo distingue del resto de los luchadores porque es algo inusual, ¿no? Y él ama trabajar con ella y siente que María es como su soporte a lo largo de su carrera. As I said at the beginning, your talent has taken you to incredible places, for example, Japan, the United States. But have you ever been interested in having a match somewhere in Latin America, like Mexico, Puerto Rico, Chile, Costa Rica? Anyways.
Yes, I have been working so hard to get down to Mexico or to get to South America or any Latin-speaking country. I've worked so hard. I'm still working. So if you have any connections, please let me know. I would love to come down there. It's on the bucket list of places I want to go work and wrestle. I've been privileged enough to wrestle some great Spanish-speaking wrestlers in the States. I haven't had the opportunity to go and wrestle them in their country. I am dying to do that. Like I said, it is still on the bucket list and hopefully one that I can check off sooner rather than later.
Él está con las manos abiertas. Dice que háganle saber, él quiere luchar en México, le apasionaría poder luchar en México. Now, man, this next next question is interesting, and it's about your last time in WWE, and it's just the historical angle between Maria Kanellis, the pregnancy real of Maria Kanellis, and you. What some point was there any kind of discomfort with the creative decision?
You know, I wouldn't say discomfort from the creative decision because at the end of the day, we're putting on a TV show. And I think that's something people need to realize. At the end of the day, we're playing characters on TV. And for some reason in wrestling, we still try to blur the line between fact and fiction. The truth of the matter is we were playing parts in a TV show. I was playing the role of Mike Kanellis. My wife was playing the role of Maria Kanellis. And it was make believe. It was pretend. It wasn't real. So there's never discomfort. It's like if you're an actor and you have to go and play a serial killer, you may not really want to be a serial killer, but you're still playing a role in a make believe movie or a TV show. And that's how I viewed it. I didn't like that it didn't go anywhere. I didn't like that there was probably some sort of evil intentions on the office's part by putting that out there. However, discomfort, I mean, I make my living by wearing my underwear in front of large crowds. I don't really get uncomfortable. So I was never uncomfortable with the storyline. I was more unhappy with the direction it was going in.
It's interesting. Now, man, you know, this Sunday is a very important date in Ring of Honor. You know, I have a two question about that. First, how is Ring of Honor preparing to welcome the fan after alongside and maybe 15 or 16 months? You know?
You know what? We are going to have the best, most kick-ass pay-per-view I think anyone's ever going to see. I think since the pandemic started, everyone's been constantly saying or writing Ring of Honor off. Then we have the pay-per-view, and all of a sudden people are like, holy crap, that was the best pay-per-view of the year. Then we have another pay-per-view, and that pay-per-view seemed to, we had Final Battle, then we had the 19th anniversary, and they keep topping each other with how good they are. Now you have best in the world. You mix in fans. This is probably, I'm going to make a bold statement. This will be the best pay-per-view of the year.
Now I promote this pay-per-view in Spanish. Best in the World 2021 es este domingo 11 de julio. Ustedes no se lo pueden perder. Aquí Mike Bennett tiene una oportunidad por el Ring of Honor Pure Title, donde luchará contra Jonathan Gresham en una lucha extrema, donde veremos nuevamente de vuelta a los fanáticos en Ring of Honor. Ustedes no se lo pueden perder. 11 de julio 2021, Best in the World 2021. The fans are coming. Mike Bennett has a shot at the Ring of Honor Pure Title. Everything seems to be a perfect equation. So what can we expect from you in this match?
Honestly, I think I'm going to completely surprise people with how I wrestle this match. I think for so long, I've always been perceived as this sports entertainment wrestler, and with good cause, because that was the way I've always dictated my career. It was how I wanted to be presented. I wanted to work for WWE. I wanted to get there. Now that my mind is in a different place, having gone to WWE, not wanting to be there, and now wanting to be considered a pure wrestler, an actual wrestler, a Noah style wrestler, a New Japan style wrestler. I think people are going to see a Mike Bennett side that they haven't seen. Now, if you have been to any of the shows on the indies over the last 6 months that I've been doing, you probably won't be surprised. But the fans that are seeing me for the first time wrestle this style, I think they'll be very surprised. I'm giving this match my all. I have been studying. I've been working for this. This has kind of been the match I've been preparing for the last 8 months since I came back to Ring of Honor. So I'm viewing this as the most important match in my career.
En pocas palabras, él nos va a sorprender con una mezcla de todo un poco. Por eso no se lo pueden perder. Ring of Honor Best in the World este domingo 11 de julio. Mike, finally, how do you describe the creative process at Ring of Honor? Is there creative freedom?
Oh yeah, so much creative freedom. There's still someone where the buck stops, because you have to have that at any company. But the level of trust that is involved between management and the wrestlers is like any other. I've never felt that in any other company I've ever worked for. The management trusts the wrestlers to go out and do their thing, and they give you the ability to sink or swim. They don't pigeonhole you. They don't tell you this is what you're going to do. This is how you have to do it. And this is how we perceive you. They give you a leash and they tell you, this is how long your leash is. We trust you. Go do it. If you do well, your leash grows longer. If you don't do so well, your leash grows shorter. But the trust involved is one of the reasons why I love working for that company. I mean, just this pure division, this pure match. I went to Ring of Honor management right when I got there 8 months ago, and I told them that this was my vision. This is where I wanted to go. And they trusted me. They've put me in this position. And so I'm incredibly thankful. And I love being able to control my own career.
Now, the final question is, for me, I love this question. What is your dream match and why?
My dream match, oh man, that is a tough one, but I'm going to stick with my go-to that it's always been and probably will forever be. And that's against Edge. He's, I've admired him for so long. I looked up to him before I was a wrestler. Then when I became a wrestler and learned the ins and outs of the business, I became even more of a fan. And then over the last 3 or 4 years, he's kind of been a mentor and a friend to me. And he's just as kind of a human as you would expect, especially someone at that level. He didn't have to give me advice. He didn't have to help me out. He doesn't have to take my phone calls, but he still does. And I admire him. And not only that, but we exchange dad tips and we talk about being fathers. And he's just a great human and he's everything I aspire to be as a pro wrestler.
Thank you, man. Ya lo escucharon. Salido de la misma boca de Mike Bennett. Ha sido un honor poder contar con Mike el día de hoy. Agradecemos a todo el departamento de Ring of Honor, en especial a Mark, quien nos permitió poder acercarnos a Mike. Mike, thanks for your time. Thanks for the opportunity. I appreciate it, man.
No, thank you, dude. I appreciate it. It's always humbling. People want to talk to me and care what I have to say. So thank you.
So now I promote these, your social media. Pueden seguir a Mike Bennett en todas sus redes sociales, si es que no lo han seguido, en Instagram y en Twitter, que han aparecido todo alrededor de esta entrevista. Mike Bennett en Instagram y Twitter. So again, thank you, man. Thanks for the opportunity. Good luck for this Sunday.
Thank you so much. And your English is great. So don't ever sell yourself short on your English. It's perfect.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Take care, man. Thank you.
Muchas gracias a todos que nos han sintonizado. Mi nombre es Isaac Cortés, integrante de Wrestling Sport.